Yes. Yes. Yes, that happens all the time. Yes, it happens all the time. No, I don't know how it happens, but we're going to talk about it today. Welcome everybody to Ask a Wizard. My goodness, man, it's without fail. It's kind of alarming, to be honest with you, how frequently these things happening are. The synchronicities. Which, if you guys have been following the news and saw the UFO sighting in New Jersey, with the the outcome of it, after having watched my stream yesterday where I explained how I don't think you're going to find aliens, and then of course every single owl DM'd me saying, "See, it's wrong. You were proven wrong. There's UFOs. They're coming in New Jersey," and I got all the DMs in the world, and inside. Hey, how's it going, K-Dog? Welcome, man. We're talking about the synchronicity that yes, these things happen all the time. This is a regular occurrence for the owls. This is probably new for the YouTuber crowd, but this has been happening for years, which is what we're going to be talking about today. And we'll be talking about some pretty cool news as well with nature in the world. By the way, if you'd like to get a wizard reading, share the stream, thumbs up this video, and let me know in the comments below that you'd like a reading. I'll add you to the list. So basically, yesterday's stream told you guys my theory about why I don't think there's going to be aliens, why I don't think they're going to find them in Venus, and subsequently got a lot of angry DMs explaining why I was so wrong, and then more importantly got a bunch of DMs about the new UFO sighting in New Jersey. Man, there's just a UFO proving me wrong. Then, by the end of the day, the story was revealed that the UFO sighting in New Jersey was actually a Goodyear Blimp, which is very odd, given that in the stream previous, which you guys can check out, we specifically mentioned that one, there wouldn't be aliens, that they'd be proven to be fake, and then I mentioned in the same stream about blimps and airships and how cool they were, and how I think they would make really good things for for travel, and how awesome they were. So it's just like things like that happen a lot here at Ask a Wizard. We don't know how, we just embrace them. We just say, wow, that's really weird. We said something, we talked about something, and then the next day or sometime in the future, a very, very specific thing to what we were talking about happened. So that is what's going on with the UFO sighting. Highly recommend checking that thing out. And yeah, so that happened. That's a thing. None of those things happen, but they do. So if you guys want to get a reading, let me know by liking the video, sharing the stream, and then we will get a live wizard reading going for you shortly. And later on today, we're going to be talking about the political theater. I'm going to be telling you guys about how this whole trick works. You guys heard me say in a previous stream, and some of you wanted more information and clarity. You DM'd and asked, what did I mean when I said it's all fake? Everything on the flashing boxes is fake. So today's stream is going to really cover what I meant by saying all of the flashing boxes are fake. And we're going to be telling you guys that. Yep, that's the power of manifestation for you. I don't know if it's manifestation. I don't know what it is, to be honest with you. It's weird. It's definitely not manifesting. It's just almost, I don't know. I don't know what it is. I can't even extrapolate a theory. I guess Carl Jung had some good talking points on synchronistic events, but it's like the universe winking almost, because there's nothing deep or profound about any of it. It's just real. It's also odd to me that we've had like 5 people comment on here with different screen names, and now their comments are disappearing and it's removing people from my group. I don't know why that is. Oh well. Hey, how's it going, Scooper Goblin? Would you like a reading? K-Dog, would you like a reading? Let me know in the comments below and we'll get your reading started shortly. And oh, I also have some pretty cool news. I read an article. It is weird. It is really, really weird. I don't understand how it works. It's odd things, but they don't have any particular significance. They're just odd coincidences that seem to line up. It's odd. I could hypothesize that maybe because we're trying to arrive at truth, that we kind of just accidentally stumble upon different lines of truth, and maybe that's what's happening. Because we on Ask Wizard, we're doing a dialectic. We're trying to arrive at truth. We kind of are just stumbling across truth topics as we do that, and then maybe that's kind of what's happening there. But I'm not sure. I don't know. Don't know. Scooper X Goblin, how are you doing? Welcome. K-Dog, not looking for a reading, I'm guessing. I haven't seen a response from you. That is very odd. Very odd indeed. It just shot up to like a bunch of people and then it dropped back down to one. What's going on there? And then Scooper's responding and K-Dog's responding, even though it's saying there's one person there. This is very... We're having an interesting day here on Ask a Wizard. We'll figure out what's going on there. Scooper says, good, thanks. Awesome, glad to hear it. So some other good news that I found out was apparently, despite the horrifying, sad stories that they were sharing just a couple of years ago about bee populations, apparently bee populations are on the rise again in Detroit, not the rest of the country, but they are growing again. And as you guys know, I think bees are going to be big. If you've watched my lecture on the different kinds of resources, you know that I am a huge advocate of bees. I plan to farm my own bees, and I think that they are a very valuable resource, and I think that their honey will be worth a lot of money in the near future. So hearing that the bee populations are doing well makes me happy, because I think bees are going to be big. And I think that there's a good chance that bees and their products will be the next caviar. That's my theory. And we'll find out. We will see if that comes true. So K-Dog says, sure, awesome. All right, K-Dog, let's get you a reading. Anything in particular you're looking for insights on, K-Dog? Let me know in the comments below, and we'll get your reading started for you right away. And make sure you like this video, share this stream out so that we can get some people in here and get some more thumbs up so that the world can know about the political theater and how it all works. And what I meant when I said all of the flashing boxes are fake. All of them. They're all lies. They're all not true. You don't need to listen to the flashing box. It's not telling the truth, okay? It's all professional wrestling. All right. Ooh, very interesting indeed. All right, K-Dog, haven't seen anything pop up for you for specifics on the reading, so I'm just going to go ahead and move forward, assuming it's a general reading here, and figure it out. Her eating about about the future. Awesome. Well, I don't predict the future. I'm not a psychic. However, what I can do is figure out where we are in the past, where we were in the past, where we are in the present, and then what the likely outcomes are for the future based on those particular patterns of behavior, which are fully within your control to change. So let's take a look here. Plato, would you be so kind? Looking into the past here, we see the Five of Spades. So the Five of Spades is a disruption in knowledge here. So what the Five of Spades means is we're really needing to change up the way that we're thinking right now about the world. We need to, and this is in the past, so we're hit with a lot of new wisdom. We're getting a lot of new information, a lot of new ideas, and it's really just kind of opening our eyes to the fact that there's a lot of different possibilities in the world than what we first thought. And this is, frankly, it's a very odd experience. We're sitting in this situation here where we're like, wait a minute, there's different ways you can live life. We don't just do the template that we knew. And so there's a big disruptive period here. And so that leads us right now into the present, where we're at is the Two of Diamonds. So this is a choice regarding the material. And so what this means is we're in this situation here where we have to make a choice regarding the material sense. And we feel like, wait a minute, I knew that there was a way that everyone else I've seen went, that's their path, but there's apparently all these other paths that can be taken. And so now we're wondering like, I don't want to screw myself over by not choosing the path that I know is the guaranteed win, but what about this other path that might work and I might like it better? And what I would recommend doing in your situation here, K-Dog, is don't get so hung up on this. Do both. There's no reason you can't do both. You can do a full-time job of the standard thing that's obviously going to get the job done, and pursue that riskier thing that you're not too sure about on your free time. You can do that on the weekends. You can do that after your job. Do it part-time and see what it's like. And if it's something that you really enjoy, or vice versa, if it's something that's very effective, like let's say you all of your family have been carpenters, and then you're like, but I think I could be a good electrician. You can go and do both. You can follow the traditional path of the carpentry and learn electrical work on the side. And let's say that you start doing the electrical work part-time, and it's making you just as much money as your full-time at carpentry. Well, then you could jump over to electricity. Vice versa, it could be an artistic pursuit. Let's say, all of your family have been electricians, but you really want to pursue music. You can do the full-time job and pursue the music part-time. So that would be my recommendation here, is don't worry about choosing one or the other. Instead, just pick both. Try both. So that's kind of where I find you at right now, K-Dog. Is this sounding accurate for you? And this actually ties in directly with the future here, which is the Ace of Diamonds, which is the beginning of a new material journey. So this is just saying, be aware that you're at the beginning phases right now. There's a lot of time ahead of you. There's a lot of opportunities coming. So you don't need to be too worried about, like, is this going to be the last choice I make in my life? It's not that big a deal. You're going to be all right. You're going to do okay. And so that is the reading I have for you there, K-Dog. I hope that helps you out. I hope that was giving you some insights. Let me know in the comments below if that helped you out. And we're going to do the next reading. Oh, is that what's going on? Oh my gosh. I just realized. I think it's because my Wi-Fi. Oh, jeez. I'll be right back. I'll be right back. Right. K-Dog, let us know in the comments below. Hey! I forgot. I had my laptop streaming Alex's stream this whole time to get her viewer count up for Twitch. So she's trying to get affiliate. So it was draining up my Wi-Fi, and I think that's why we're having all these weird issues with YouTube. So I just turned it off. Awesome. All right. Well, glad to hear that was accurate for you, K-Dog, and gave you some insights. And no problem at all, sir. And if there's anybody else who would like a reading, let me know. Just thumbs up the video and share the stream, and let me know in the comments below that you would like a reading, and we will get you on the list. But until we see someone pop up for that, we are going to move on to the discussion for today, the political theater. So, what is the political theater, and what do I mean when I say it's all lies? You don't need to listen to the flashing boxes. What are we talking about here? Well, this is brought up in how old were you when you became a wizard? I've been practicing magic since I was 8 years old. That's when I started practicing magic, and I've been studying it ever since. So, what is, when I mentioned that before, I referenced Machiavelli. Now, if you're familiar with Machiavelli, you probably have heard of him in regards to The Prince, or just the word Machiavellianism being this manipulative and sneaky and subversive and all these, negative terms associated with Machiavelli. And it's actually not the best way to label him, because he really wasn't a bad guy. He had a bad reputation, but if you read any of his other works, like The History of Florence, for example, or which one did we have here that I had read recently? The Discourses here. If you read him as a person, oh no, sorry, Al. If you read him, you come to find that he's actually not a person who's applying these techniques he's talking about. He's more just kind of an observer. He's just saying, like, this is the techniques that people use, and this is what you should be aware of, and these are the tactics that exist. And you can, I actually did a lecture on that topic in detail over on Machiavelli, the Art of Power Acquisition. You can check that out here on the channel. And so his name is he's misunderstood as a person who's this manipulative person. And in reality, he was just documenting history and what governments do. And so in The Prince, he goes through step by step, and keep in mind this is 500 years ago, so this isn't anything new. 500 years ago, he was going through and he documented step by step, here are different forms of governments, here are different forms of societies, this is how they are organized, and here's how to create information to control them and manipulate them. And the most effective and most common tactics all are revolved around control the sources of information. So he teaches about what types of informational control work best for which societies and how to handle them. For example, in the example of a republic or a democracy, what you would do is control the centralized information, and you would deconstruct the group from the tribal elements into larger conglomerates, into basically tribal factions on a larger scale. So you would put them into the green team and the orange team, and just green team rules, orange team rules, so that they fight amongst themselves and ignore the people at the top who are actually controlling the people. And so that is one example of how the systems of control and information are utilized to control the people. And so what this concept is called, and keep in mind, this isn't like hidden secrets, it's not conspiracies, it's literally what people call it. It's called political theater. The reason it's called political theater is because what you see in politics is theater. It's a lie, it's fake. There's no reality behind it. It's basically just a tool to give people a team to go behind and follow. And so you might see in, for example, a dictatorship, there isn't the two-team dichotomy. There is the one team and everyone else who is bad. That is another method of control if you are in a state that is, for example, a dictatorship or a monarchy. Did you owl me again? I remember I had to go before you had a chance. I don't remember, but if you have an owl name, let me know what it is and we will discuss it. Hey, Peyton, how's it going? If you would like to get a reading, Peyton, let me know in the comments below. Like this video, share the stream, and that is how you qualify for a free reading. And I might not get it to you right away. I'm going to go through this here, and then I will get to the readings afterwards. That's what Machiavelli documented, and that's why I say it's all a lie, because it is. It's a system that was developed, newspapers, radio, television, the eyes, the ears, what you see, what you consume intellectually, what you read, all of these things are tools that are designed to control populations. And so there's no reason to read them or acknowledge them, because they're not being used to tell the truth. They're being used to control you. And so that's why I disregard them. So then that leaves you to the question of like, I am late to your live. Sorry, I had to do homework. No problem at all. That's perfectly fine. Lol fam. Nature owl. Ooh, that's very nice. I like that, nature owl. I'll write you down on the list to make sure that we get you owlified. Nature owl. Boom. That's K-Dog. Sweet. All right. And so you might be asking yourself now, it's like, okay, so if it's all lies and whatnot, why are they lying to us, and what is the purpose? And Machiavelli teaches us this as well. And, also I think more accurately, Aristotle and Plato probably give us a better impression of what politics really are when you strip away the theater. And keep in mind, this isn't some new concept. Machiavelli talked about it, but so did Plato. Plato prescribed that nations should use what's called the noble lie, where you should basically create a theater to control the lower class people and tell them lies through the media and the forms of institutions. And so this is not this is a very, very old concept that's been going around for most of recorded history. And so what they're obscuring, what they don't want you to actually care about, is to know about what is really going on behind the scenes. So when you see all those pieces of paper, when you see all those news articles and radio shows and all that stuff on both sides of the equation, anyone involved in politics, they're trying to obscure the following things. And that is the 4 quadrants, which we're going to go over now. The 4 aspects of politics that actually matter, that are the predictive elements, first and foremost is the resources, the material. So it's resource allocation and economics. Who has the water, who has the money, who has the power, who has the soldiers, and who has the gold, who has the silver, where are the precious resources, and who has them, and how can we shift more to us and less away from them. And so that is the biggest picture thing. This is the concept of economics, supply and demand. Most battles, most political causes, most movements, shows, protests, all of it boils down to resources and economics, money. There's no moral element to it. It's not about truth. It's not about doing the right thing. It is purely we have a need for water and you have the water. We have a bigger military and you have no military. So we are going to acquire water, and then we will create a story to dramatize why it's okay for us to take your water. And so that is the most common and most effective means for identifying why is anything happening. And that's the economic cause. If you want to learn more about that, you can read about it in the Wealth of Nations is a good introductory book to that concept, and gives you a better... I found it very useful for kind of putting on a paracosm of envisioning the world in an economic way. It's very interesting. There's some flaws to the theory, of course, but from an imaginative perspective of getting you into that mindset of thinking of things as flowing in resources, it's a very effective book at doing that. I think that that's a great entry point for anyone who wants to really get into that mindset. And so the second part that all of politics boils down to is tribes and families. Now, this is the one that's very powerful because this is the one that's always obscured. Now, notice this isn't nations, this isn't states, this isn't cities, this is tribes and families. Most of politics has nothing to do with these big quadrants of people that they try to lump you into, based on race, based on gender, based on politics, based on sports, based on money, based on class. All of those things are fictional constructs. They don't really exist. They're falsehoods. They invent them to try and control large groups of people. And then they say, these kinds of people believe in this, guys. You should do this if you believe in this thing. And it's an act of control. That's what they're trying to do. The reality is people are incapable of exercising thought and care outside of about a 200 to 400 acre space. That's about it. Anything within a 200 to 400 acre space is what we're really designed to accommodate. And we're not really meant to know more than 1,000 people, to be close to 100 people, and to be like best friends with 10 people. We're not capable of extrapolating outside that level. And so what the people in charge who are trying to control these large populations of people do is try to take a identifiable characteristic of someone and then label them and say, all people who have this quality do this thing. And then they try to use that to force them into conflict with each other. And so that's that ideological possession we talked about with Fighting the Chimera, if you want to check out that particular stream. And so those are actual conflicts that occur, is between tribal conflicts. So you see this in, if you read Machiavelli's History of Florence, small little tribes and groups and families going to war with each other over typically resources, history, and those are the two major things. And in some rare cases, morality. And so those are the second quadrant. So we have the reality, which is tribes and families, and then we have the lies that you'll get in the media, which is bigger picture groups. And That's, red team rules, blue team's the best. That's just a manipulation tactic to control your mind. Then the third factor that comes into play is the system of government. Now, this does get discussed in politics in the flashing machine boxes. However, it's actually the most irrelevant factor in all of it. That's why they talk about it the most, because it's the least important. The system of government is essentially how do we allocate our resources. And while people like to tell you that it's the biggest thing in the entire world, it's super important, and if we get the anarcho-capitalism in here, things are going to change, or if we get communism in here, things are going to change. It is important. It's just not that important in comparison with the thing that never gets discussed, which is the most important element, which is what Nietzsche identified, which is the morals of a society. And so a moral society, or a moral tribe, moral nation with a bad system of government will do far better than a nation with a bad system of government with did I get that backwards? A nation with a bad system of government will do better if they have good morals than a nation that has bad morals with a good system of government. Those are they will lose. And so, like, you could, let's say, if you think communism is the bad form of government, but the people who are in the communist state are good and moral and virtuous people who are living for good causes and towards a good and true thing, the beautiful, the good, and the true, they will do much better than a nation that has, say, a capitalist system, but have amoral people, or very, not amoral, but immoral people that are not trying to do good. They will try to exploit and break the system. So while the system of government is important, it is the least important aspect to really focus on in the grand scheme of things. So what matters most is the core moral center of the nation. And that's why Nietzsche predicted in advance World War II and the Soviet Union and what's occurring in America today. The reason he was able to predict that was because of the turning away from God, the turning away from Logos, the truth, the light, and the way, removed the moral center and foundation of Western society, therefore predicting the collapse of the entire system. If you don't have a moral Christian foundation, the society will fall regardless of what system you have, regardless of any other aspect, because the morals are the pillars of what a nation is built on. And so what we see is a moral problem in most cases when it comes to politics, which is why it's very often not discussed. And that's the way to fix those problems. So how does this apply to you? What do you need to know? Now you know, as I've told you before, the flashing boxes are lying to you. They're not worth listening to. Politics is designed to control your mind. Now you know how they use it to control your mind. What elements of politics do matter, and are you able to act on in your own life right now in wherever you're at in society? That's the macro, is the lie. The micro is where you can take action. You can't make the world moral. You can't control groups of people. You can't worry about supply chains and resources, and you can't worry about what system of government is being implemented. What you can worry about is your own moral fortitude, being a virtuous and kind person. This is what Aristotle teaches us. You can focus on keeping your family safe and healthy and protecting each other and supporting each other and your local community. That's something you can control. You can control the system of support that your tribe has. Say, for example, if you're a part of a church, you can be the system, not of government, but of support, where when people are down, how do we handle people who are in unfortunate circumstances? How do we handle people that are in good circumstances? How do we handle people who are in bad circumstances? How do we handle people who are a threat? And these are all things that you can control on the micro level. And doing that through your local tribe, your local church, your local organization. And finally, of course, you have control over your own resources. You can start a garden. You can grow your own food. You can drill your own well. You can make money. You can develop skills. You can be an electrician and control your own sources of income. And so, what are the elements of politics that matter? All the ones that don't involve anything outside of a 200 to 400 acre radius of your house, because that's what matters to you. Where are you at? Where do you live? And what is around you? That's where things matter. Everything else outside of that is not only lies, but is actively manipulating you. They're intentionally trying to control your mind with those stories because your brain can't think that big. It's impossible for your mind to do that. So that's why they want you to put your mind there, because if you can't think rationally, then you're prone to ideological possession. And so that is political theater in a nutshell. That is what is at play. That is why you shouldn't listen to the flashing boxes, and what you can do instead with your life that will start to make massive improvements. Don't worry about fixing society. Fix your house, fix your family, and then work towards your community, and then work towards the small group of people that you know and love and care about and are part of who make your life wonderful. That is how you change the world, and that is how you can begin to actually take action in politics instead of posting stupid memes on Facebook that I will ban you for. So that is political theater. I hope you guys enjoyed that lecture. And now let's move on to some more free readings. Who would like a wizard reading? Sorry, Tyler, but I have to go. No problem at all. Scoper, see you later. Hey, Erwin, how are you doing? Ooh, Erwin is now secretly long leg owl. How are you doing, secretly long leg owl? Welcome. How are you doing? Welcome, welcome, welcome. Lol fam, were you looking for a reading? Let me know in the comments below. If you're still here, give me a thumbs up and share the video, and I will get you a reading. And K-Dog needs to be owlified. Also, if you guys want to discuss the lecture, feel free to drop your comments in the comment section below. So K-Dog was looking to be owlified as Nature Owl, so you know what to do. You gotta make a little bubble. Now, not everybody can see the bubble. It's about 20% of the population that can, but what it does do is create a pattern interruption, and it is an odd circumstance, so it makes you start getting into an inquisitive state. What is happening right now? And that's important to do because we want to bring K-Dog's attention to the fact that while things may seem chaotic, while things might seem out of control, there are things that are outside his control that he can choose to worry about, or he can choose to not worry about. There's also things that are within his control, and they're the things that he can take action on and that he can change. And so this is going to serve as a reminder to focus on the things that are within his power to control and change, and to not concern himself with the things that are outside his control that he can't change. And we're just going to go tap that on right here, place that right onto the camera, and let it fly. Should be getting there in 3, 2, 1. K-Dog, I now owlify you as Nature Owl. Welcome to the flock. Yeah, you're crushing. Welcome, K-Dog. Awesome, man. Welcome. Hope you enjoy being an owl, and let's move on to some more readings. If we've got anybody here that needs a reading. If not, I might be able to close up the stream early. That could be awesome. Oh, Erwin is, my apologies, secretly long leg owl is looking for a reading. Yes, indeed, you can get a reading. Let us begin. We're doing the full paid readings, by the way, for free, because I'm feeling generous today. Let's do this. 3-card reading. All right. Secretly long leg owl. Who should we go to? Mr. C.S. Lewis, would you be so kind? If there's anything in particular you'd like insights on, let me know in the comments below. I'll just move forward, assuming it's a general reading, unless you've got anything in particular. Looking into the past here, what we see is the Ace of Wands. Interesting. A new spiritual journey. A general reading? Yes, indeed. Let's get that going. So the Ace of Wands. So the Ace of Wands is the beginning of a new spiritual journey. This is about getting new principles, new beliefs, new real core life-changing aspects of ourselves. And so we see this in the past here. So this might be like reading new philosophy, or this might be getting inspired or drawn to something that we truly believe in, having a intuitive break, that kind of thing. And we see this as a important and integral moment in the past. Now, walking into the present, what it seems to have led to is a situation with the Four of Hearts. So the Four of Hearts is about stability in emotions. And so what this is saying is this philosophical breakthrough may have been the realization of how important family is. And this might be the founding of really strong beliefs in family bonds and the people who love us and care about us the most, and how really important they are to our life, and how it's while they can sometimes bug us and annoy us and be irritating, it's so important to really have them in our lives, and how really valuable an asset they are, and how they make our lives so much more wonderful than they would be without them. And so we see that this principle seems to have spawned forth a belief in really strong family first kind of thing. And that's a really powerful position to be in, and a really beautiful belief to have. And so that's kind of where we find you at right now. Is this sounding accurate for you, secretly long leg owl? Let me know in the comments below if that's sounding on point. And if not, that's perfectly fine. We can adjust accordingly. But go ahead and let me know in the comments below. By the way, if you would like a reading like Secretly Long Leg Owl is getting right now, all you need to do is thumbs up this video and share the stream. When you share the stream and thumbs up the video, let me know in the comments below that you'd like a reading, and we will get your reading started shortly. Yeah, I don't know if you guys I know Secretly Long Legs Owl wasn't here earlier. We had the, so last night's stream, was it last night's? Yeah, so last night's stream, we talked about how I didn't believe in the UFOs, and then how blimps were awesome, right? And then we come in today, the headline news is UFO sighting in New Jersey, and then throughout the day they discovered it was a fake UFO and it was a blimp. How crazy is that? What are the chances? Like, it's literally what we talked about. Exactly what we said yesterday shows up today. The synchronicities that happen with this show are incredible. And I think it's the first one we've had here on YouTube. But man, those things happen like every week on Facebook. So it's fun. It's really fun to have those things happen. Maybe not every week, at least once a month for sure though. Pretty awesome stuff. Erwin is saying the second card does seem a bit off. Interesting. Okay, so let's get a little bit more insight here. So the Four of Hearts is not sounding on point, so let us figure out what are we missing. Two of Hearts shows up here, and Eight of Diamonds. Okay, so in regards to that, let's see if we can get more clarity for that Four of Hearts. So regarding the family and friends, I should say, strong foundations of family and friends, we have the Two of Hearts showing up, which is a choice regarding who we associate with and who are our friends and who are our family. And then we have the Eight of Diamonds, which is advancement in the material. Very interesting indeed. So it seems like we had to make a choice regarding our family that is kind of grounded in a material sense. Like there was a physical element to it, in the sense that like we had to do it just by like proximity, but the choice that we made really boiled down to us having to follow our principles. Like, so I'm getting the impression here that the most important aspect of what's going on here is that in a pinch, when you're put in a situation, say if you had to choose between money or family, you're going with the choice for its family rather than what is most financially advantageous. You're not choosing the most monetarily successful path if it's going to be at the detriment of your friends and family. That's kind of more of a clarification there. Is that sounding more accurate for you? Let me know in the comments below. And if you'd like to get a reading like Secretly Long Leg Owl is getting right now, thumbs up this video, share the stream, and let me know in the comments below. It is free. Hey, K-Dog, how are you doing? Oh, and my apologies, Nature Owl. Good night, good night. Secretly Longlegs Owl says this is sounding on point and accurate. Glad to hear that this is sounding on point. Let's get on to the next. I'm sorry. What Secretly Longlegs Owl said was yep. She said yep, in agreement with the fact that it's accurate for you crazy troll people who are going to show up and say, actually, what she said was, yes, you are right. But what you said was, yes, you are really right. You're correct, trolls. Good one. All right, moving on to the next steps. What we see is the Four of Spades. So what the Four of Spades is telling us is the next steps really for us is to start getting intellectual principles and foundations. We now have a really strong principled foundation of our reliance on our family and belief in our family. Now what we want to start doing is figuring out what are the principles for like thought and logic and a strategy for our life that we can start applying. For example, if you choose to gain the principles of I am the kind of person who is going to learn a new skill every 6 months. I'm going to acquire a new skill every 6 months. That's just something I'm going to start doing. That is a strategy you can start applying that will make you massively more successful at life than the person who says, I'm just going to, play some video games and hang out and meh. So putting some strategy behind that is going to put you in a really powerful position. So that's one example of a strategy. What are some other core strategies you could apply that could be a foundation of your life? A good guide would be the Life, a Strategy Guide, which you can find on here. It's got a picture of Aristotle on it. And this is where you can start really building your life in the long term, asking yourself, what are the things that I want to continually get better on? Maybe how could I be healthier every day? How can I live a life that is that I feel honored to live? When I look back on what I do and how I act, I feel like, yes, I'm proud of what I've done. That's a good overarching goal and strategy and can really give you new ideas and new ways of thinking about things. But it's going to be unique to you and your way of life. But that's where the next step is. We've got the foundational principle of family, so let's start building out from there. So what next? Maybe it's tying in with this principle of family. How can I be of value in the future to my family? Or maybe it's how could I honor my family and what I'm doing? These are all different approaches that you could take. And so that would be my recommendation for you. I hope that it helps you out, Secretly Longlegged Owl. Is that sounding on point? Did that give you some wisdom? Let me know in the comments below if that's helping you out. And we'll move on to the next reading. If we have another reading here, let me know. Like the video and share. And if not, I will close up the stream and we will be live again Monday through Friday, 9 p.m. Pacific Coast time for another stream. And if you enjoyed the stream, if you found the wisdom valuable, if you like to support what I do, please go on over to patreon.com/askawizard. You can feed the wizard there. You can buy me a cup of coffee, buy me lunch, or buy me dinner. It is a great way to support what I do, and I deeply appreciate it. And of course, you can always get a paid reading by going to paypal.me/askawizard. Pay whatever you think a reading is worth, and we will do those live here at the end of the stream. And so if you're interested in doing that, head on over to PayPal and do it there. And other than that, I think we're going to be good to go. Secretly Longlegs Owl says, yes, thank you so much. Glad to hear that that was accurate for you and gave you some help there. Awesome. All right. Well, I'm going to close up the stream early tonight. Awesome. Glad to get an early stream in. And I will see you guys tomorrow. Same time, same place, Monday through Friday, 9 p.m. Pacific Coast time here on YouTube. Have a great evening. I will see you guys tomorrow. Peace. We will see you tomorrow. See you later. Have a great evening.